everybody, welcome to my channel. In case you can't tell, I have a new background. I have a new fish tank. And there is a story. You better believe it, so get ready for story time. But first, actually no, I'm going to walk you through what happened to me yesterday. Really quickly. I went into Petco with my boyfriend's little siblings because I was babysitting, and they wanted to go, and this guy shows up with a bag of fish, and I was only able to rescue the angelfish, unfortunately, but he essentially gave me the impression that he was going to throw away whatever fish nobody took. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm the proud owner of a angelfish now. So I took the angelfish from this guy, and I was like, okay, I'll put it in the 30-gallon tank that my boyfriend and I have. It'll be fine, because the minimum, and I mean the absolute minimum tank requirement for this guy is 30 gallons. It's a 29-gallon tank. And just like, I'll put it in there for a little bit until we figure it out, because him and I were maxed out on fish because we have sharks in there. But the sharks that we have will get along with the angelfish, but the sharks need a lot of room to swim, as do the angelfish. And so I was like, well, do it for right now and we'll deal with it. Like, I'll deal with it later. I get a better look at this fish. This fish is not swimming right. He's swimming in circles. He's doing loop-de-loops. He's got swimming upside down, and this guy's like flicking the bag, because we put him in, you know, the bags that you would leave the store, like Petco with fish, and he gave me, so I took the bag, and I get a better look, and this fish looks like there's something, like he has a fungal infection on his eye, which can infect the swim bladder. So I'm like, okay, great, can't put this in my 30-gallon because we just had an ick infestation, and we're really, really trying hard to avoid that. Angelfish are well, ick is something different, but angelfish are incredibly prone to fungal infections. They're very, very delicate. Very delicate. They're not very prone to ick, which is, so I don't think he has ick, but any kind of disease that affects the outer of the fish. I don't think fishes get colds really. Like to my knowledge, there are no internal issues with fish. Like, they can get tumors and stuff like that, but to my knowledge, they don't get like colds or like stomach aches or anything like that. Just issues typically with their scales, like fungal infections, bacterial infections, things like that. So I was like, great, he's got ick, it's affecting his swim bladder. Great, I need to put it in an ISO tank, or an isolation tank. So I bought a 10-gallon tank, and I was very, very happy I had everything that can go into that tank already on hand, because I just got rid of my 10-gallon, and like, it's not actually a 10-gallon tank, it's an 8-gallon tank. She's a little bit too small for this guy, and I just wanted to give him a fighting chance with a very basic shaped, because mine was hexagonal shape, very basic shape tank and everything. So I will show you my setup, and I'll show you why I did what my setup is. He looks so much better. What I did was I took, I needed to do a water change on my beta tank anyways, so I put about, I'm going to say gallon, this is a 10-gallon tank, this is a 20, so I probably put about a gallon in here, in the 10-gallon, from my 20-gallons tank. I put a bunch of tap water, conditioned tap water with quick start, with stuff to neutralize the ammonia, stuff to get rid of nitrates, because I have no idea what condition this guy had his tank in. So I kind of did that. Then I just set it up. I put I let him just go straight into the bag. Typically what you would want to do to release a fish is you wouldn't want any of the other person's tank water, the store's tank water, to go into your tank because you don't know what those parameters are. But I didn't need to stress him out anymore. I didn't want to take him out of the water at all. So I just transferred him through the bag because I had, like, there was just a lot going on. So I will run you through the setup, and I will run you through why it's set up exactly the way it is, because there is a method to my madness, I swear. So this is him. His name is Tigger. I named him so he would have a much better chance. I needed to make the connection with him. He's got some weird little bulges on either side. I don't know if he's just fat or if that's just him. But you see how he's kind of swimming a little funky. But for the most part, he swims normal. He just kind of swims like that when he makes turns. So I think he just doesn't know how to make turns. So I have up top, I have a piece of driftwood. This is really supposed to sink, but it was driftwood I had in my 30-gallon tank that I took out, and I really didn't keep it in water. So I don't know if it just needs to like get waterlogged again or what. So it's just chilling on the top. I have this plant, which is, I pulled it straight from one of these, from this tank. It's from a beta bulb. I stuck it in with where the bubbles are coming out of for this little guy. There's a heater right here. He needs a minimum, the tank needs to stay within 6 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. If it goes any higher, if it's male, he'll just get stressed. If it's female, they'll go into heat. Essentially, they'll become more fertile. I have a little moss ball down here because I'm just trying to keep some oxygen, some plants, and some filtration. And I just put a filter in right now. I don't have that mesh that's supposed to come down from the filter, so I stuck the moss ball on there because this filter has been out of commission, but it was kind of for a little bit because I don't have that piece and I really need that piece. But I figured that this will be fine for now. Typically, I would not recommend having a moss ball as your filtration for that, but I know for a fact that it won't come off. And like I said, it is for now. That filter, I'm looking at buying that piece that comes down or getting a new one altogether. That is for the 20-gallon tank. That's supposed to be for the 20-gallon tank. But the fish in there I lost a fish because it got caught in that filter that got pulled up. I figured this guy's a little bit less likely because these guys are much, much, much smaller than my angelfish. He is, like, as you can tell, he's doing so much better. He was not swimming right. He was breaching the water when I first got him. Like, he was having his fins reach out the top, and the water was pretty full. I actually just finished putting the water in it today. I've had him for roughly 24 hours now, probably about 23, 24 hours. And I just put the filter in it because I didn't think he needed a filter, but I looked. The water looks kind of foggy. I don't know if that's from the water from my tank or if that's from the water from the other guy's tank. I'm going to assume it's from this other guy's tank because it didn't look like they were in very good water, and my tank I try to keep very clean and very clear. Obviously, to the best of my ability. I can't swear, like, so far I haven't had my algae bloom in this tank, and I've had it for about 2, maybe 3 months now. So it's actually pretty shocking that I haven't had an algae bloom yet. But yeah, I'm waiting on, I was not going to put the filter in, but I went with it just for now, see how it goes, and if that moss ball does fall off, I'm taking the filter out. But I figured he really needed one. So everything in that setup is there for a reason. There's no gravel in that tank. You may have noticed that there's absolutely no gravel. That is because I did not have time to set that up. I was on a time crunch. Additionally, it's an isolation tank. Gravel harbors so much bacteria. This 20-gallon was originally my boyfriend and I's. We had a bunch of fish in here. These are all different fish than what Daniel and I had. We moved all of the water from our 20-gallon when we had it to the 30-gallon when we got the 30-gallon. I think my cats just hissed at each other. we scooped all the gravel up, and there's so much bacteria, and that is essentially the ecosystem for the bacteria is in the gravel of the tank. So I didn't need this guy getting any sicker because the gravel is harboring bacteria. The gravel just looks nice. It's actually really not a necessity for your tank. You don't absolutely have to have gravel. It just helps build your good bacteria and all that stuff. But I didn't even have time to grab the gravel. So the bubbles are very important for this guy since he is super stressed. I normally don't have my air bubbles on overnight with the fish because it disrupts my sleeping. I left it on last night because he's so incredibly stressed, and these next 48 hours, the first 48 to 72 hours that you have a fish are incredibly crucial to the survival of that fish, because fish get stressed so easily. New environment, new tank parameters, and this guy went through a lot in the last 24 hours. He does look so much better, but that doesn't mean that he might not take a turn. And I'm planning on posting video updates on this channel of how this fish is going. If all goes well, within a week, I will have another fish tank in my room, because I definitely need another fish tank just for him. And I'm gonna have a friend set everything up with me. So hopefully, yeah. But the oxygen is very crucial. It's gonna help oxygenate the water, obviously. What that does is that helps him breathe again, obviously. If he's stressed, he's gonna be rapidly breathing and not taking in as much oxygen. Air bubbles help relieve stress. I don't exactly know how they do that, but I know that it does. Put the plant in there because I didn't have the filter in before. Angelfish like leafy plants anyways, so it's not a bad thing to have it. And I always recommend having at least one live plant in your fish tank, whether it's a beta fish tank, like my beta bowl that I have, it's a fish bowl for my beta, has a plant in it because I don't have a filter. It's natural filtration. It's going to filter out your nitrates and your nitrites. And some cases it can help with ammonia. At least that's what I was told. I've never experienced it helping with ammonia, but I'm sure it does. I know that typically you don't typically want any nitrates or nitrites in your fish tank. You just don't. But they're very toxic. It's highly toxic to the fish. It stresses them out, can kill them. So that filters that right out. The filter helps with other things, and it helps the nitrates. It doesn't help as much as plants do, though. I threw a filter in there today. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing it. Filtering, these guys need good filtration system, but they need it to be low flow. They're not very good swimmers. If I'm able to film a video of him doing this, I probably will. He will swim through my bubbles. The bubbles, when he first got in the tank, he swam through the bubbles and got stuck. He got trapped in between the air bubbles, and he could not move. And I actually had to physically move the bubble system out of his way because he got stuck. I haven't seen it happen again. As far as I know, it hasn't happened again, because I did move the bubblers to a better location in the tank where he really can't get, he can get to it, but there's a lot around it, so he should be fine. But the heater, like I said, is super crucial for him because he needs 76 to 78 degrees. Any colder and he'll freeze, any higher and it puts them into stress. Just assuming it's a he. I always call fish he's. Like, all of the betas in this tank are female, and I always say he. So, yeah. I mean, you can kind of see him swimming around. And like I said, the goal, hopefully, will be, assuming all goes well, and I really hope everything does, because I really like this guy. He's awesome. He's very big. He's about full size. My guess is he's somewhere between 10 months to a year and a half, somewhere in that range, because he's not quite full size yet. Everything I read says it takes about 2 years for him to get to full size, and that from that size range, the size that is about, that's what the internet told me, is that's probably how old he is. He looks like he's doing much better. I keep looking back because I'm like, it was very, very iffy. I honestly got the tank because it's like, this guy isn't gonna last 24 hours. I don't want him to die in a bag. That's what it ended up being. I wish, had I known I was gonna get the 10-gallon tank, I would have taken all of the fish, had them in this isolation tank, and then went out and got this bigger tank. But this is what I'm doing for now. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. This is very much so a do as I say, not as I do. Do not go out looking for adoption fish. You don't know what you're getting. This guy, part of the reason he's in an isolation tank is because I don't know if he's sick. I'm gonna wait it out for about a week, see how he does, and if he's fine or this is just his normal, then that's what I'm just gonna deal with it. So this has been an eventful day. Actually, the last 2 days have been pretty eventful. So yeah.